America is known as the land of freedom and opportunity, but behind its bright history lie shadows that are rarely spoken about. From secret experiments on innocent people to forgotten massacres, the darker side of the United States is filled with chilling stories that never make it into textbooks. Today, we'll uncover 10 of the darkest facts from American history you were never taught in school. Watch closely because number one is something most Americans have never even heard about. Number one, the Salem witch trials. In colonial Massachusetts, fear and superstition led to the infamous Salem witch trials. Over 200 people were accused of witchcraft, and 20 were executed, most of them women. This wasn't about real witches, but mass hysteria, greed, and paranoia. Families turned against each other, and false accusations destroyed lives. Number two, the Trail of Tears. Under President Andrew Jackson's Indian Removal Act, thousands of Native Americans were forced to march from their homelands to distant reservations. This brutal journey, known as the Trail of Tears, caused the death of over 15,000 people from hunger, exposure, and disease. It was one of the darkest moments of forced displacement in American history. Number three, the Tulsa Race Massacre. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, a prosperous black neighborhood called Black Wall Street was burned to the ground by white mobs. Hundreds of African Americans were killed, thousands left homeless, and the thriving community was erased. For decades, this tragedy was hidden from history books and ignored by officials. Number four, Japanese internment camps. During World War II, over 120,000 Japanese Americans, most of them U.S. citizens, were forced into internment camps. Families lost their homes, businesses, and freedom, all because of fear and suspicion. These citizens were imprisoned behind barbed wire simply because of their ancestry. Number five, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. For 40 years, African-American men with syphilis were deliberately left untreated in Alabama, so doctors could study the effects of the disease. They were lied to, told they were receiving free health care. Many died, infected their families, and suffered, all in the name of unethical medical research. Number six, the orphan train movement. Tens of thousands of poor or abandoned children were shipped from East Coast cities to rural America on what were called orphan trains. While some found families, many were exploited as cheap labor or treated harshly. For nearly 75 years, this dark social experiment uprooted countless young lives. Number seven, the Ludlow Massacre. In Colorado, striking coal miners and their families lived in tent colonies after being evicted from company housing. When tensions rose, the Colorado National Guard attacked. Fires broke out, and around 25 people, including women and children, were killed. The tragedy showed how far corporations in the state would go to silence workers. Number eight, Native American boarding schools. For decades, Native American children were taken from their families and forced into boarding schools to erase their culture. They were punished for speaking their languages, had their hair cut, and faced abuse. The motto was chilling: kill the Indian, save the man. Generations suffered trauma that still echoes today. Number nine, the Great Depression's forgotten poor. While the Great Depression is remembered for Wall Street's collapse, the real suffering was among the poor. Families lived in Hoovervilles, shanty towns built from scraps. Starvation and disease spread, and the government response was slow. The desperation drove some to crime, while others simply didn't survive. Number 10, Project MK Ultra. Perhaps the darkest of all, the CIA secretly experimented with mind control, using drugs like LSD on unwitting people. Homeless individuals, prisoners, even students were drugged without consent. The program's goal was psychological warfare, but it left behind shattered minds and destroyed lives. Most files were destroyed in the 1970s, but survivors' stories reveal a horrifying truth.